Is this really what you've become? This lifeless, quiet, invisible version of yourself? You used to have dreams, fire, a voice, and now, what's left but a hollow shell?
I don't even know when it started. Maybe it was the first time I chose to stay silent. The moment I smiled through pain, swallowed my voice, and pretended everything was okay. I tolerated everything, said nothing, bit my tongue, until I forgot how to speak for myself. Every day a piece of me vanished, with every fake smile. Every time I made myself small so others could feel big. I became this, not all at once, but drop by drop, like poison seeping into my bloodstream. I built myself on fear, on apologies, on silence. And people thought I was calm, wise, grounded. But I was just tired of trying. Tired of proving myself to people who weren't even worth the energy. Every night I talked to myself. Every morning I silenced that voice. I wanted to scream, to break, to burn it all down. But I didn't. Not because I couldn't, but because I thought I wasn't allowed to. Because I thought if I fought back, if I raised my voice, if I demanded more, I'd become the bad guy. And now I look at myself and ask, is this really me? This hesitant, quiet, faded version of who I used to be? I used to believe I'd change the world. And now, I can't even drag myself out of bed. I abandoned myself. I disrespected myself. I threw myself away. I turned my back on the one person I should have protected. Me. And now I'm paying the price, not with pain, but with numbness, not with screams, but with silence. Everyone's looking for salvation, but I couldn't even ask myself to save me. I forgave everyone, except me. I waited, I hoped, I prayed someone would pull me out, but no one came. No one was ever going to. It had to be me. I was the one who had to crawl out of this pit, but I didn't. I stayed, because I was afraid, because I believed them when they said I wasn't enough, because I let the voices in my head echo louder than the truth in my chest. I believed them when they told me, you can't, you're too sensitive, you're too quiet, you're too nothing. I swallowed those lies, and I wore them like skin. But now I'm standing at the edge, and I have to choose. Stay this version of myself that I'm slowly starting to hate, or burn everything down and see what rises from the ashes. Not for them, not for validation, just for me, for once in my life, just for me. I remember every single one of them. Every time I was crushed and stayed silent, every smirk when I spoke, every time they looked past me like I didn't exist, every "you're too sensitive," every fake laugh, every moment I swallowed my pride just to keep the peace. Humiliation isn't always loud. Sometimes it hides in silence, in the way people ignore you in a crowded room, in the way they smile at you while secretly hoping you stay small, manageable, forgettable. I thought staying quiet made me strong, that turning the other cheek was noble, that biting my tongue meant I was in control. But the truth is, I was breaking, quietly, politely, dying with a smile on my face. I was ashamed of the fire inside me. Ashamed of wanting to scream, ashamed of the part of me that begged to be seen, heard, respected. So I buried it, I buried myself, and they let me. They let me fade because it made them feel bigger. They never wanted me to grow. They just wanted me to stay useful, agreeable, safe. I remember the way they interrupted me mid-sentence, the way they laughed when I opened my mouth, the way they praised me when I stayed quiet, and pushed me away the moment I dared to stand tall. I remember the friends who clapped when I dimmed my light and turned their backs when I tried to shine. I gave everything, my time, my energy, my soul, and got silence in return. I bent until I broke, and even then I apologized for the noise. I became so used to shrinking that standing up now feels like war. But it's a war I'm ready for, because I'm done being convenient. I'm done being soft. I'm done being silent. I'm rising from the exact place they buried me, from the silence they forced into my lungs, from the shame they wrapped around my spine. I'm not coming back for revenge. I'm coming back for myself, not who they wanted me to be, who I was always meant to be. I died, and no one noticed, not because they didn't care, but because I made it easy for them. I smiled through it, nodded when I wanted to scream, showed up when all I wanted was to disappear. And they loved that version of me, the one who didn't ask for much, didn't take up space, didn't challenge them. They called it humility, but it was silence. They called it maturity, but it was suppression. They clapped for my restraint and spit on my fire. I was never seen as a threat because I never allowed myself to be. I softened every edge, dulled every instinct, played small to keep them comfortable. And all it did was teach them how to ignore me, how to walk past me, how to use me without guilt. And I let them. I trained them to treat me like I didn't matter. I set the standard for how they were allowed to disrespect me. And now I'm drowning in the consequences, in the weight of years I spent biting my tongue until I bled, smiling while suffocating, laughing while breaking, holding on to people who only showed up when it was convenient, who only loved the version of me that served their ego, who left the second I stopped being useful. And I stayed, even after they showed me who they were, even after they looked me in the eyes and lied, even after they proved that I was nothing more than a background character in their story. And I still stayed, hoping one day they'd see me, value me, fight for me. But no one did. And I finally had to accept that maybe I wasn't the victim anymore. Maybe I was just a volunteer in my own destruction. Maybe I held the blade as much as they did. Maybe I dug my own grave with every second chance I gave them. And now I sit in the silence of everything I tolerated, everything I allowed, everything I became, to make them feel better. And I hate it. I hate the weakness I called kindness, the fear I called patience, the silence I called peace, because none of it was real. It was survival. It was self-erasure. And I don't want to survive like that anymore. I don't want to smile through another insult. I don't want to say it's fine when it's not. I don't want to be palatable, safe, small. I want to take up space, speak with fire, live without apology. I want to remember what it feels like to breathe without holding my chest tight, to to walk into a room and not shrink, to look in the mirror and actually recognize the person staring back. Not some watered-down version, not some half-dead reflection. I want to burn everything they built inside me that told me I wasn't enough. Every voice, every memory, every word that made me feel like I had to earn my worth. I don't want revenge. I want rebirth. I want to rise, not as the old me, but as someone they don't even recognize. Someone they can't manipulate, can't belittle, can't break. I don't want to be their idea of me. I want to become my own damn revolution. Not for them, not for validation, just for me. Because I owe that to the parts of me that begged for a chance, that held on through every storm, that waited in the dark for me to finally wake the hell up. And now I have. And now it begins. I'm not coming back to be accepted. I'm not here for your validation. I'm not looking for peace. I'm looking for dominance. I'm not the same broken version of me you once knew. That person is dead, buried under years of silence, soaked in the blood of every time I said nothing when I should have screamed. I'm not interested in being forgiven. I'm not here to make anyone comfortable. I've done that for too long. I've bent. I've bled. I've begged. But I won't do it again. I'm not here to reclaim my place. I'm here to erase the table entirely and build my own with fire. I'm not here to earn respect. I'm here to become undeniable. I'm here to take up all the space I once shrank away from, to become the voice that silences every room. I am not here to explain myself. I'm not the same person who used to beg for kindness, who used to tremble under pressure, who used to say, "It's okay," while dying inside. That version of me was polite, broken, digestible. That version of me died quietly, while everyone clapped for how strong I was. Strong for suffering in silence. Strong for being the bigger person. Strong for swallowing my pain until I forgot the taste of my own truth. But I'm not swallowing anymore. I'm not dimming anymore. I'm not staying silent while my own soul screams to be seen. I'm not waiting for permission to exist. I'm here, loud, sharp, unapologetic. I will not be your comfort zone. I will not be your second choice. I will not be the one who gets blamed for making you feel small, just because I finally stood tall. I am not your echo. I am not your reflection. I am my own force, my own storm. And you will either rise with me or get crushed beneath me. There is no middle ground. There is no compromise. I'm not here to fit in. I'm here to break the walls. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to make you uncomfortable enough to move. Because comfort is death. And I refuse to die with dreams still rotting in my chest. I'm not surviving anymore. I'm devouring. I'm not healing to return to who I was. I'm healing to destroy everything that made me that way. I'm becoming the version of me that was never allowed to exist. The version that doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, doesn't beg. The version that walks into rooms like a reckoning, like the consequence of every time I was overlooked, laughed at, underestimated. And now, I don't want peace. I want presence. I want pressure. I want everything they said I couldn't have. Not because I need to prove them wrong, but because I need to prove myself right. because I owe this to the fire inside me that never went out. To the younger version of me who cried alone and believed no one was coming. To the version of me that held on for years in silence, waiting for the day I'd rise. And now I have, and I'm not coming back. I'm taking over.